But the first time that kind of makes you realize that you did the right thing becoming a teacher was when I had one of my 8th grade students back at the first school I taught at came up, taught me one day right when the bell rang at the school. He said, I wish my dad acted like you did, that he'd be able to explain things like you did and kind of be there to explain things to him. I try to make real-world connections, and after spending 20 years in industry, that's really what education is about, getting them prepared for adulthood. I try to have a little bit of fun in class. I try to make it interesting. I try to vary it. I try to use the iPad and technology. I try to do hands-on. I try to do group work, and then just keep switching it around because I feel if I'm getting bored, I know they're getting bored. I really do enjoy working with the kids. I actually have fun with it. And to me, if you can't have a little fun being a teacher, irrespective of grade level, then you probably are in the wrong profession. So I do draw enjoyment from working with young people and seeing them progress. And sometimes it's very small steps, sometimes it's huge steps.
He's, like I said, he's one of the best teachers I've had, not only just because he's laid back and just has fun, but I mean he gets down to the point and he makes stuff easier to understand. I really hope Mr. Goodrich gets it because heaven knows he deserves it, and he's one of the best teachers I've ever had.
I like Mr. Goodrich a lot because he's really like laid back and calm, you know, and he makes it like real easy to learn like really hard chemistry stuff, you know. And he's always like really helpful because like for me I'm a really slow learner and it takes a couple tries and he's never like frustrated with that, and he's always in like a really good mood.
Glad to have Tim Goodrich on our staff serving our kids. Tim brings a wealth of perspective away from school to his classroom. He spent a long time in industry and is a very experienced manager of people and resources, and so that allows him to translate a lot of the principles and circumstances that they may be exploring in class to real-world settings that kids can hook into and buy because it's real. But beyond that, he brings life experience as a dad and as a seasoned person in life. I think Tim is respected as, whether you call it a father figure or not, he's that wise guy that they can turn to and bounce things off of or share things that he can help them through.
No, I just really enjoy teaching, and I think, you know, if this is kind of what you're called to do, you just need to do it.
I first had interest in it when I was a caseworker in communities and schools, and I worked with high schoolers in classroom settings, teaching social skills and being kind of a liaison with their teachers for at-risk students, and that's where I decided I think I might want to try teaching. I just try to foster that nurturing and of course, as you saw today, some fun with you know, some complicated pieces of the language, but you know, they're teenagers. They've been sitting all day. I try to think about what would be engaging and fun, but also pull in, you know, their skills. It's different every day. It's not the same old thing every day. Every day is different. You have students' attitudes and things change every day. The content, even though it's the same subject, there's so many things that we can do when learning Spanish, and so it just makes it enjoyable because I can wake up every day and know that I'll encounter something different. So it makes it exciting. It's never boring.
She is a fun teacher and she can teach us really well, and I had mostly a blast with her this year.
Well, she's a very, very kind teacher. She does a very good job teaching us. She teaches very thoroughly. She doesn't just like rush through things. She really likes to connect with her students before teaching actually anything, and I think she does a very good job. And with my class, I have AP Spanish 4, and it's a very difficult class. There's like 8 of us in that classroom, and what she does a really good job at, as far as teaching technique, what she'll do is that she won't move on. She won't move on until we fully understand what's going on in the curriculum, and I think that's great. So no one out of the 8 of us gets really left behind, and I really appreciate that she slows down for all of us.
Shannon Gish is a great teacher. Her students who are learning Spanish are engaged in the language and learning the culture. She has created an environment in her Spanish 2 class where kids are willing to take risks. They're willing to speak the new language and write it, and they engage with each other. She has an element of competition in the class that makes it fun. But in her upper level Spanish class, it's a small family where they are really studying the language and they're working hard together and getting ready for their AP test. And it's an exciting classroom to move into and to watch.
I just try to approach them as, you are my students and we're in this together and you are important to me. So.
I was in the Army prior to teaching for about 14 years, and so this is a new career for me. I'm just starting out as a new teacher. I worked in Florence for 2 years as a history teacher, teaching 8th graders and coaching, and then I moved to Belton this last year. So this is my first year in Belton, and I currently teach 6th grade science and I coach girls athletics. I became a teacher, I think, the influence of my father. My dad was a teacher and a coach. I grew up in a teacher's home, so I had that role model as I was growing up as a child, and he was very successful and loved teaching, very passionate, so he kind of passed that down to me. One of my students asked me if I would follow him all the way up to 12th grade. So I kind of laughed and I took that as a compliment, and I think that's really why I teach, is because I want to positively impact the students and provide that role model for them and show them that even though things are bumpy along the way, that with perseverance and positivity and people behind you, that you can make it and be successful. So I just really want to help those students that struggle to become successful someday.
I see her as a very strong coach, and that she pushes all of us to be our best at whatever we do. And since she's a running coach, she's very strongest in that, and to just help us give it our all. She is a very kind coach, and she can, she's not an average coach, she's very special. She will push you in the best and nice way she can to help you be the best, and also in her teaching, she would do the same.
I think it was a good choice because she's good at teaching. She teaches she gets to the point. She teaches well, she's also nice, and she's just fun to be around.
She was voted by her peers. Now, I think she was an excellent choice. She is new to our campus, but she's had both a teaching and a coaching role here. She's phenomenal. She's extremely organized and structured. When you watch her in class, she does an amazing job pulling the kids in, engaging them in the lesson. She's really taken the one-to-one technology initiative and run with it. She's found lots of unique ways to integrate the technology so that it makes just a seamless transition. It's just part of the fabric of what she does.
You can also see them transition into young adulthood, and they have more energy, so you can be high energy and they receive that well and engage with you, and they meet you at the level that you come in. So I have a lot of fun with the kids, and I think that they make the teaching profession worth being here.
Just have a lot of fun in this class, and they're always coming up with new ideas, exciting things to do, and they work hard for me, so it's great. Originally, I thought I was going to be this film actress, and then so I started college at Texas State, and I was studying theater, and after the first semester, I was like, this doesn't seem quite right. And I was like, let me add teaching to it. I was like, let me teach theater. And so I took my first educational course at Texas State, and I was like, this is it, this is what I want to do. So theater it was. Last year I had 2 boys, and they wrote our first Batman play. And so they wanted to write the script, and we had a student that had cancer at the time. And so they wanted to take all the money that they raised and give it to this student for all of his medical bills. And then on the night of the show, they invited this kid, and he didn't know that we were working on this. and they invited him there, and they were like, so we just want to give you all of this money to help with your medical bills. And this student loved Batman, so that was kind of where it all came from. And so now we have this year a second group that's written the sequel to Batman, and they're giving all of their proceeds to Hope for the Hungry.
I think that she's a really great teacher and that she's very passionate about what she does, and I really admire that about her. We learn a lot about theater, and I think that she does a great job of teaching us extra stuff, like not only acting but about the behind the scenes stuff, and that's really helpful. I feel like she's really great at connecting with us and really relating to us.
I have actually had her 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 6th grade I had her, she was my theater teacher. Last year in 7th grade she was my cheer teacher, and this year she's my theater and cheer coach. I think she's like really personable. She's not really like, she's strict, but she's like strict in a good way. She won't let people like goof off if they're not supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, but she also like all the activities and everything we do is fun, and we do it with groups, and sometimes we'll have contests, and whoever wins gets to like get a Sonic drink or get candy or something like that. So she just really like does things so that we are having fun but still learning at the same time.
This year we have almost 300 kids signed up for theater arts, enough so that we have had to hire another theater arts teacher to assist Ms. Roberts. Considering where it was in the past, it's just unbelievable how much she's grown our program. Her enthusiasm that she brings every single day is inspiring, and it's contagious. Our kids love being around her. They love working for her. They kind of take ownership of the theater program, and she allows that to take place as well.
Once they've got this nice connection with me, class is really easy, and you know, we have a good time in here. We have a lot of fun, and they want to be here.
Actually, last year I had an 8th grader tell me he had actually struggled with math, had not been successful on the STAR test the year before, was in a STAR class as an 8th grader, and I had him in my regular math class. And he told me towards the end of the year last year, he said, Ms. Smith, I just want you to know that I have never understood math until I came into your classroom. This year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer last summer and was doing treatments in the fall, and every Friday, this makes me cry, it's wonderful. Every Friday when I came back after my treatments, I knew that almost all of my kids would be wearing a pink t-shirt, and I thought that's why I love doing what I do and why I do what I do. I know that if a student is able to explain the math that we've just learned to another student, or explain the math that we maybe talked about 2 weeks ago, if they're able to help another student at their table, then I know that they completely understand the math.
I really wish I could take her with me to New Tech next year, because she is just the teacher I want to have teaching me, especially with math, because math was a little bit confusing in 6th grade, and then 7th and 8th grade it just makes sense with Miss Smith, and it's almost like I don't get teachers that often that I enjoy every single day. I never have any frustration or problems. I'm kind of going to be sad that I won't be able to have her in high school.
Whenever I think about Miss Smith, I don't only think of her as a math teacher. I think of her as like just an example for me on how to live my life, because she is the sweetest lady that I've ever met, and she just encourages me every day to know what she's been through and how she pushes through every single day, and I've never seen her without a smile on her face.
And I think her story just has inspired us this past year with her battle with cancer, how she never made excuses. She always had her plans in. She would schedule her doctor's appointments on Thursdays at the end of the week, so that if she needed to miss a little time, that it wouldn't be much. She was just a trooper. She's going to be just a good teacher. I think she looks at kids as individuals. So she's going to teach the content well. She's organized, she's consistent, she just has this energy, and I think that's just one of the characteristics of a good teacher that you can't even teach. She just has it.
I just think she would be perfect for Teacher of the Year, just because She is not only a teacher, but she's a mentor, and she encourages all of her students all the time. So she should get Person of the Year also, just because she's so sweet.
I have wanted to be a teacher since I was a little girl. That's all I've ever wanted to be. I used to play school with my little sister and set up class, and I would save my allowance and go to the teacher store and buy grade books and lesson plan books and anything you can imagine. And so that's just what I have always wanted to do.
Wilbur loved his milk, and he was never happier than when Fern was warming up a bottle for him. He would stand and gaze up at her with adoring eyes.
I try to just make things fun. I'm not an overtly outgoing person, my personality, but in the classroom I tend to come out of my shell more, and I like to be silly, and I like to do voices and just try to get them engaged and participating in what we're doing. I like to use a lot of literature and get them excited about reading.
Run all over, skip and dance, jump and prance, go down through the orchard and stroll in the woods. The world is a wonderful place when you're young.
My favorite thing about my job is the students and just developing those relationships. I look forward to coming to school every day because of my students. That's just the most important thing to me, is for them to know that they are loved and that they are safe in my classroom.
She's a pretty cool teacher. She's like funny. She has a good humor. And then she understands you, and then she can she helps you, and like where you can understand it. And then we're starting to learn about cursive, and then like every morning we'll walk in the room, and then we'll eat our breakfast, and then get our stuff, and then do our cursive writing. And then she taught us like how to write stories, like personal narratives. She has a good heart, and then she's a great teacher, so I did think she should get Teacher of the Year.
I think she's the greatest teacher ever because she's nice.
She's most deserving. You walk into her classroom and she's kind of the model of consistency. The kids know exactly what they're going to get every day. It's very clear on what her learning, the expectations are of their learning. She communicates that to them. The way she approaches them each day, and she provides that safe, nurturing learning environment, and her kids love her as a result.
I have grown to just love it. I love the kids, and I love this age group, and yeah, I'm just really blessed to be here.
And I think that's kind of how I go at it as teaching, is how would I want to teach, or how would I like to be taught, and I think about that. Especially when I looked back at teachers that I had that made a difference on me as a child, and who inspired me. Last year I had a couple of students, one in particular, he was very shy, very quiet, didn't like to talk out in class at the beginning of the year. Was behind academically, and you could see that bothered him, that he wasn't where everybody else was in the classroom. And we worked hard together, and I gave a lot of attention and to be able to do that, and we found some strengths that he had, and we utilized those strengths, and it took the child out of his shell, and it made him so that he was like a social butterfly in the classroom. To be able to learn with them, it's my favorite part of the job. I get to learn something new every day, whether it be something academic or just something about children in general, what kind of makes them special and unique, and what's the difference between when they come in at 10 to me versus when they go out at 11, and just to see how much they've grown over a year as a person. And it's really rewarding, the fact that I had something to do with that.
I think she's awesome because we get to do a lot of extra stuff because she just lets us do all these cool experiments, and she's pretty fun. Just a second ago we were looking through microscopes, and we got to look through all this like bee stingers and stuff, and they were pretty cool.
She is the best teacher I ever had. She lets us do fun stuff, but she makes sure we're learning, and she won't, like, even if it's the easiest thing, she will still help us on it if we're having trouble. When we're learning about some topic and someone asks a question that might not be exactly on it, she stops and explains it for us so we have more background knowledge about it. And so we learned about the human body a lot, like the organisms. It's fun.
Ryan Young is an amazing teacher. She is a master of making her classroom a learning environment where it's safe and students really do their best. She embraces every child that comes to her room with everything that they bring, and sometimes with what they don't bring. But she feels the responsibility for every kid and their success. So when a child's not doing well, Ryan would be one to say, okay, what do I need to do to help that child? She has lots of interventions in her toolbox, and she will do whatever it takes for every kid.
I understood that, you know, I could actually make a difference there, and to be able to teach the kids and to give them the love of learning that I have is like the best part of it.
Well, definitely at Lakewood, one of the things I love is I've got children in this class that I've watched grow up. They were babies. I've had siblings. They're siblings. And so I feel like the connection, the family connection is big here, and it's important. It's important that when parents send their babies to school the first year, that they know that we're going to take care of them and they know us really well. So that's one of the things that I love about the school. We always joke around, all the kindergarten teachers, that we should write a book because some of the things they say, and we could even have a dictionary for kindergarten words, like hand sanitizer is always handitizer. They called it that every year. So it's just the fun, and it's the always changing, the always active. I mean, there are days that I'm worn out, especially August, September, October. I always tell new teachers, October, it'll calm down. But those first 3 months, I go home and I am just completely exhausted, just like they are. They'll fall asleep on the porch. So it's kind of like a mutual thing. We wear them out, they wear us out. But I love the constant moving and the constant going. That's just my personality. I've always been a goer and a doer. So I think becoming a teacher is something that I feel like I was just kind of guided to. I loved working with children as a teenager. I babysat a lot, and I was real active in Campfire in my church, and I just kind of gravitated towards children. And then when I got to college, I decided that was my calling, I guess.
She's a really nice teacher, and she always cares for us. If we make a mistake, she always lets us try again. I've learned how to read better.
And how does she teach you to read better?
She puts us up to challenging books, and she lets us, and she helps us, and we learn more words every day.
That she's fun. And also, she used to be Noah's teacher, my brother's teacher. I deserve Miss Cressman. I think she should be Teacher of the Year because she is awesome.
A few weeks ago, I received a letter from a parent, and one of the things that the parent said in the letter was that Angela Cressman was truly a blessing to their family, and that was also a word that when I think of having Angela Cressman at Lakewood as our kindergarten teacher, that she truly is a blessing to all of her students and to the staff here at Lakewood.
I encourage students to be involved in physical activity at least 60 minutes a day, and not just for as children, but for a lifetime. And so kids always come to me and share stories about their parents taking a walk with them, or they're riding bikes, or they're doing an exercise video. And that just touches my heart to realize that they see their parents engaged with them. When you're in a PE setting, you have to be a motivator. You have to be an encourager, especially when you have kids that are struggling in particular particular skills, and you have those that are just more or less gifted athletes. And so you spend a lot of time working with students that have a lack of confidence, and you just push them through, and you encourage and motivate, and you work with them, and when they say they can't do it, I just tell them, well, just show me what you can do, and then we build from there.
Press your back heel down, count to 10 in Spanish.
Being a PE teacher is awesome. You get to play with the kids every day, and so it's just a joy to come every day. But I think my favorite thing is being able to watch the kids grow and mature and develop through the years, because I teach them from kindergarten all the way through 5th grade, and you can see that growth.
Well, she's maybe one of my best teachers because I've known her a lot, and she really inspires me to stay active, like whenever I get older. Because like I don't want to be just someone sitting on the couch watching TV a lot. Like I want to get outside and play. So yeah, she inspires me a lot.
I really like Miss Potts because she's really nice and lets us do fun stations and lets us play outside sometimes. And we get to have Fun Friday, and she just lets us choose our stations on Fun Friday, and she's really nice to everyone. And instead of just like sitting them out for the whole time, she actually lets them come back in if they get in trouble. And she's just overall really nice. I've learned that to eat healthy and to be active, and that she always talks about having to play 60 minutes each day and is encouraging all of us to play for 60 minutes each day. She is really nice, and she helps us a lot with our physical education.
Mrs. Potts is active in all parts of the campus. She is a leader through our physical fitness department. She develops the Catch Family Fitness Night for us, which goes along throughout the entire year. She supports our kiddos in the lunchroom with healthy eating habits, and also has events for parents and siblings to join the campus and learn how to be physically fit and healthy individuals throughout their lives. And so the development that Ms. Potts does for our children and our families at Leon Heights extends well beyond the classroom. It allows for them just to be well-developed beings overall. And so we are proud of her work at Leon Heights and thankful that she's a leader for us.
What made me decide to become a teacher was I had a very influential teacher in my 5th grade year. And so at first, like, my dream was never to become a teacher, but the moment she entered my life, I was so influenced that I decided that I wanted to be able to make the same type of impact for my own students. So now I'm a 5th grade teacher, and I do tell them those stories all the time. I don't know, it's something that they touch me. Every day is a different story. Every day is something new. Every day is a new challenge. And the best part about my job, besides teaching and watching them grow, is being able to come in. I tell them all the time, we're a family. So coming into room 19 to my family. I remember back to my 2nd year of teaching, I had one little student that just, he wasn't very motivated in class, but I just knew it was something there. Just anytime we were one-on-one, he would really open up a lot. And so I found, a way to get him to branch out and speak up in class, and in about 3 weeks I seen a difference. The whole class saw a difference, and I looked at him, I said, you know what, that was me when I was younger, and this is why I do it. So I feel like I inspired and touched him. He moved to a different campus, and teachers were coming to me and say, you must be Miss Hubbard.
Well, basically she knows how to help us with what we need help on, and she knows how to teach the subject really well. We were learning about the Revolutionary War just a short time ago, and we actually learned some stuff about, like, one interesting fact was about the redcoats of the British Army. They wore the red coats so that the other British guys wouldn't see the blood when they were shot, which would make them feel braver.
I think that she just really she's like a unique person. She does like her own thing. She doesn't try to be like anyone else. I think that she was chosen because she's always finds a way to make someone laugh and stuff. And I think that it was a good choice that she was chosen.
Sharina is such a unique person. She just pours her heart and soul into her teaching and into every child. She spends so much energy reaching each individual student and their families. And because she has developed such strong relationships with all of her students and their families, her kids outperform. They do so well, and they want to do it for her, but she teaches them to believe in themselves implicitly, and because of that, they do extraordinarily well. Not just academically, but they blossom and they grow so much socially.
I'm very honored, though. Even if it doesn't go past the campus level, I'm still very honored to be Miller Heights 2015 Teacher of the Year.
Well, I picked physical education primarily because I had great role models in my life. I was very sport activated. My journey includes tons of volleyball, basketball, track, cheerleading, lots of extracurricular activities out of school when I was a young child. And I just feel like the coaching staff delivered a lot of great leadership qualities to me, and I love their teaching techniques. So as I completed high school, I wanted to be a coach real bad. Oh, I love the hugs that I get from the kids daily. I'm very blessed that I get to see every child at Joan and Pirtle Elementary. Many teachers don't realize the volume of students I get in the gym. I have a class of nearly 75, but I do have many other helpers around. I feel that the children are always greeting me with smiles. That's something I totally enjoy. I feel like I'm their mother away from home a lot. The greatest part that I enjoy about my job here at Pirtle Elementary is that I work with some fabulous teachers. They're very dedicated, they're very professional, they're very helpful. We're a team here at Pirtle, and I'm just honored that I can be with these other educators, and I'm thrilled to come to work every day and be a part of their family.
She's very funny, very generous, always helping people. I think this school is just the perfect school for her to teach at. She's probably the second most generous person I've ever met.
I think she's a great teacher. I like Miss Whitaker as my PE teacher because she does all fun stuff. Speedball, beanbag basketball. She lets us go outside sometimes. I've felt like she's taught me games like that I've never played before.
She creates such a warm, nurturing, fun, and exciting environment for our students. And any point in time when you walk in the gym, there's either music going on, fun games, energizing activities where all kids have a piece of equipment in their hand. As the students are playing and enjoying the activity, she is always giving some sort of advice in regards to healthy decisions they can make or health information. I think really it's Nancy's mission in life to make sure that kids find some form of fitness that they can do for a lifetime.
These kids bring in so many different interesting things with them that I get to hear. So I would just say that really the memories for me is just being with them every day and being a part of their life and making a difference for them.
All of my kids. I love them all, and it's so rewarding when they come back, like my little student did when he opened up the door earlier when I was teaching, and when they stop in like that just to say hello, or they stop by, on Meet the Teacher night, after I've already taught them, and this new school year starting, and they come by, and their parents still come by. It's just all of it's so rewarding, and when they do that, I know I made a difference with those kids. I love my job. I look forward to coming in every day and seeing my kids. I tell people all the time, I can't imagine a more rewarding job than this, because Who can say that they can come to work every day and be able to teach your kids to read? That's one of the reasons why I love kindergarten so much. It's because when they come in at the beginning of the school year, so many of them can't read. And I tell my kids all the time, if you can read, you can do anything. There is absolutely anything that you can do. Obviously, teach them reading. It's teaching them everything. It's teaching them all the social stuff, you know, the manners and all of that. But that is so rewarding to me. And then to see them at the end of the school year and how much they've grown, it is truly the best job in the world.
She's beautiful, and she's like a flower. She's like the best teacher because she teaches a lot of fun things, like reading books and stuff.
And the pig said, what?
Stop! I want to eat you.
And what did he say again?
Run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Okay.
She's pretty good at doing her work, and she's a flower. Beautiful, more beautiful than a flower. These are my favorite things. I have 4 things: PE, music, learning stations, math stations, and recess.
She takes every opportunity to have the children learn, whether they're lining up to go to lunch or lining up to go to the bathroom. Any opportunity she can take for those children, they are engaged in learning. And the campus sees that. It's very obvious when she is with her children that she is always engaged with them. And I think the other teachers really respect that, and they're very they admire her a lot with just her positive attitude. She's always very willing to help the other teachers. She's just always there for everyone.
It truly is the most rewarding job in the world, and I think my kids know that I feel that way about my job, and I think my kids know how motivated I am and how excited I am for them. And so I think they sense that, and I think because they love me too, and I love them so much, we just have great relationships and it just works out.
I knew that I had made a good career move when I no longer got the Sunday night blues anymore. I was ready to come to work, and I'm inspired by them. I love reading and writing, and I love to hear what they come up with every day. I like to make personal connections with my kids starting at the beginning of the year. I always feel like that relationship is the #1 thing.
I'm so glad to see everyone over here.
Well, I'm glad that you see us here.
In corner G, because you know that if it is a free verse poem, it absolutely does not have a rhyme.
And you just told us.
Okay?
I want to teach them that their words matter, their stories matter, sharing those with others, and then respecting the lives and stories of others. And so we create a community where we share, and the power of words is really important to me.
My sister, she won her 2 basketball games in one day, and Miss Morgan is a teacher over here, and we get to be on camera.
They're not going to work hard for you if they don't know that you care about them. So I just try to make those personal connections, listen to them, and push them to be the best they can be through the relationships that I make with them.
She deserves the Teacher of the Year for teaching us all the stuff that we need to know. And I'm happy that she's my teacher because that means I'll get a good grade on my STAR test. And she's really awesome and funny and pretty.
She does color. Right now she's letting us make our own book right now. And my book is about Christmas, but she's pretty much an amazing teacher. You can learn a lot from her. A lot of stuff. You can learn about commas, apostrophes. What I learned from her was that if you own something, if it's your property, you put apostrophe before the S, like my bike.
My son was very lucky to have Becky as a classroom teacher, so I've known Becky on both sides, kind of as a parent and now also as her administrator. Well, I've gotten to see the joy that she can bring to education for her students. When my son had Becky, he loved her class. He loved her as a teacher. It's always a joy to go into her class. Her kids are always involved doing authentic tasks. She's reflective when she's planning her lessons. She is just honest with what she does. She takes the time to go back to figure out what she needs to do, what she needs to change to ensure that her students succeed. And so she's just a wonderful candidate and choice for our Teacher of the Year, and I'm very proud of her.
And I played school from the time I was probably 4 or 5, and I had nephews and nieces and sisters, and I was always the teacher. And as soon as school let out, that's the first thing we did when we got home. My daddy used to tell the story about how he couldn't believe that the last day of school, we were so anxious to get home to start playing school all summer long. And that's another reason I went into this profession. I wanted to make my mark. I wanted, you know, to change a child's life. And even if it's just one kid, that's one kid. And that means the world to me. So I love the kids. I love their personalities. I love what they bring to me every single day. I love their enthusiasm because at 5th grade, you know, sure, you always have those kids, you know, that don't want to work, that don't have the motivation. But I like that challenge too, to try to see, well, how can I get that child to love learning and to make it a lifelong process, to understand that once you leave school, you're not done learning.
I think she makes learning fun for the start, because she always does these cool games like the one we did today, like the battleship type one with graphs. And she also is kind and calm when there's like a little stress around the room, and she easily solves all these problems. So I think she deserves it because she's good at teaching and inspiring kids to like do better and not think negative on themselves. She is amazing. She's so patient and like calm, cool, and collected. But like her teaching, like I've never seen a teacher teach the way she does. She's so passionate about it. Like she loves us kids. I love the way she teaches because like she makes it fun with all like these tips and tricks, like, you know, like PEMDAS, or like the saying how to remember the planets. That's awesome because I'm quick to forget.
She also received the Rotary Educator of the Month for Temple this year, and it just says a lot that she was honored twice this school year. She really exemplifies what I would think a Teacher of the Year means. She goes above and beyond for her students, and teaching is a passion for her. It's her true love. She has a classroom that I am just gravitated to. I love going in her room, and one of the reasons I love going in there is because her kids are always engaged, and they're having fun, and they're active in their learning.
You know, every year there's those certain kids that when they get something that it's taken all year to teach them, and suddenly you can see that it clicks and their face just gets so excited. I think it's just a culmination of that. It's hearing from parents at the end of the year that they're appreciative, that they can see the effort you've put in with those kids, that sort of thing.
No, we have everyone here. Miss Miller is here, Miss Chapman's here, all of our friends. So we'll put our families in our heart and sing Wish You Well for them. Put your families in your heart and let's sing together. We wish you well, we wish you well, all through the day today, we wish you well.
At this age level, it's really important to connect with the kids and making sure that they feel safe at school. This is their intro to the world, so we want a really good impression for them. And my technique is I just try to teach them we're all a family here. This is a safe place, you know, you're loved here, and not just from the teacher to the student, but also between the students. You know, we're our own little community. We support each other, we take care of each other. So that's what I try to teach them, to really build a sense of family in the classroom. When they're excited, it just comes out of them. Their voices, their face, they get so excited. And sometimes when they're excited, they say the funniest things. So just those moments like that make it all worth it. Make it so exciting to be a teacher and coming in every day, hearing what they're going to say.
Those are the 4 things plants need. Say it. Soil.
Soil.
Water. Sunshine. And air.
My mom's always worked with special needs kids, and most of that's been through the school district. And I think just being around that growing up, I knew I just wanted to be a teacher. I had a particular love for both the academic aspect, but also that the social and emotional building, which Pre-K is perfect for that.
Nikki has been one of our model teachers in the conscious discipline model. She was observed by our Region 12 person who came and did some side-by-side coaching here at the campus. And she had nothing but high marks to say about Nikki. If you ever ask or suggest or just talk about what's going on in the classroom and you have any suggestions, by the time you walk in the very next day, she has implemented it, she has tried it, she can tell you how it works for her. She is a learner. She has learned from her team and learned from everybody else here at the campus, so she's done a great job.
Wave your hand.